Rastov, YouTube, awesome. Hey, what's up YouTube? Rastov here, and welcome back to our third part of our three-part mini-series of Remembering Mum in the gaming edition. Gamer edition? Gaming edition. It's an edition. There's games involved. I'd only remembered the first two stories, even though I had the third story, you know, pretty much burned into my memory. So, the third story is about a Game Boy. About a Game Boy. Now, our family friends, Mum's best mate, who's my godmother, and her godchildren, and I know you call God brother, that sounds silly, but basically, you know, he had this Game Boy, you know, and I used to like idolize him, mate. I used to idolize him. You know, any game he played, I wanted to play it. Any music he listened to, I wanted to listen to it. And one day I was like, man, I wish I had a Game Boy, and he's like, you can borrow it if you want. You can borrow it. Yep. And so I was like, are you serious? Yeah. He's like, yeah, no worries, I'm not playing it at the moment. So he just lets me borrow it. He said, the only thing is, you're gonna have to get your own batteries. I'm like, batteries? What do I need batteries for? Like, that's fine. You know, we've got batteries. So I take it and I get home. And I was like, Mom, can I have some batteries? She's like, yeah, sure, here you go, here, have some batteries. Oh, that sucks. So she gives me some batteries, and now, you know, I don't know if you played like one of those old school Game Boys that took the batteries, but those batteries did not last very long. You would get like maybe a couple of hours out of them. Maybe, if you were really lucky. And so I asked her for batteries, and I think I had the Game Boy for oh, son of a bitch. I must have had it borrowed for like a month at least or something. It was a few weeks at least. I can't remember how long it was. But, so... So, she had like a you know, a 4-pack of batteries, and I think it was like 20 bucks for a packet of batteries at that time. I'm saying batteries a lot. But, you know, so I asked for more, and she gives me, you know, she gives me 2 more, and she said, that's all I can give you. I can't give you any more, like, we've got none left. So I got creative, right? If there was something in the house that had batteries in it, they were no longer going to be in that thing, and they were going to be in the Game Boy. And that's what happened. Every remote control, I can't remember, but I ended up taking about 12 batteries from different devices and putting them in this Game Boy. Oh no. So I put them in this Game Boy, and then about a couple of days later, and what I would do is I would take the 2 batteries out, right? Take the 2 batteries out, put the old batteries in, and then I would just rinse and repeat. And so Mum would go out and buy more batteries, because, you know, she wasn't buying them for the... Son of a bitch, again! She wasn't buying them for the Game Boy, but she would buy them to replace the TV remote. Because, hey, we gotta watch TV, and no one wants to get up and go to the TV. So I clued in quick. And then one day, she calls me out, and she's like, James, where's... And she's like, and then there was just this pile of batteries there. She's like, why are there 14 batteries all just... that are all flat? Do you know anything about this? I've got no idea. I mean, maybe they just... Maybe you know, we've been watching so much TV that it's just been using so much power. She's like, no. Damn it. I got scared. You're like, no, I don't think that's it. I don't think that's it. She's like, you've been using them on that fucking Game Boy, haven't you? And I was like, no, I'm sorry. He's like, no more. He gave me 2 more batteries, 2 more like new ones. She's like, that's it. You're not using it anymore. No more batteries. And if you take if you even so much as look at the TV remote and taking out batteries from that, so I'm gonna stick that Game Boy somewhere that you can't find it. I'm like, but it's not mine. He's like, well, you're gonna have to explain that. So don't do it. So I was like, man, I was obsessed. I absolutely loved it. Pokemon was amazing. You know, Pokemon's coming out at the end of the year, the like next game. So I am definitely going to be playing that, making some videos on that. So I would go to school, I would talk to my mates, and I'd be like, oh, I'm having this real problem. Like, I really need batteries. But my mum won't give me any more batteries. And, you know, and my friends were like, yeah, look, we got batteries at home. We'll just bring you some. It's no big deal. So I did, you know, so they would bring me the batteries, and I would like give them food or whatever else. And I had this like little you know, like microcurrency going on where I would trade things for batteries. You know, it's like some post-apocalyptic shit where like, you know, batteries are a currency and everyone needs them, and I'm like trading whatever I can. So I'm like bringing toys to school to trade for batteries. You know, toys I didn't play with or were broken or whatever. Nothing that was valuable to me. And so my little battery enterprise was going quite well. But what I didn't know was that my mates had started to do what I had done and started taking all of the batteries out of like their families, like remotes and other devices, and bringing them to me just so I could have like a couple more of hours of like Pokemon playtime. And it got to a point where like the parents had all like interrogated their kids, like, why are you taking our batteries, blah blah blah, and everyone pointed the finger at me, to the point where you know, my mum had ended up getting she had been talked to by like multiple parents who were all like, you know, our kids have been taking like batteries for James. You know, did you know anything about this? And she's like, no, I have no idea why he'd be asking for batteries. And then that sideways look, like, you know, she's like, oh, I'll find out what's wrong. And you know, I never heard about it again after that, so I'm assuming she sorted it out. But yeah, she was furious, so she's like, all right, we're taking it back now. No more Game Boy for you. That's it. Say goodbye to Blastoise. Say goodbye to Cyndaquil. You're never gonna see them again. Oh, I don't want it. So we took it back, gave it back. And I pretty much never played a Game Boy again. Like, and if I mentioned it, she'd be like, don't you even think about it. Don't you even think about it. Oh, why did I do that? That was so dumb. Yeah, so she's like, don't you even think about it. Until years later. Oh, bro. Bro, that was terrible. And I never did. Until one day, we were in the warehouse, I think it was. The warehouse. And there was a special edition Game Boy SP. And it came with like Emerald. So it was this green Game Boy, came with Emerald. I'll show you. I think I still have it. Where the hell did I put it? It should be here. It's here somewhere. Ah, here it is. Green Game Boy. I don't know what happened to the Emerald, but or the charger, to be honest, but I still have the actual Game Boy. And so I was like, oh, mum, you know, this blah 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 comes with the game, She's like, what did I tell you? And this was like years past, and she still remembered the battery incident. I was like, oh, mum, no, like, oh, that's right. I'm an idiot. Now I remember. I was like, no, Mum, look. It comes with the charger. What does that mean? It means that we that it doesn't take batteries. It's chargeable. You just put it, you know, hook it up to the wall and you're good to go. And then she kind of like looked at me. She read it. And like, you know, like she didn't believe me. So she asked the you know, the store worker, she's like, is this true? And they're like, I mean, that's what it says. And so she was like, okay, get it. She's like, that's your birthday present. So I ended up getting the Game Boy finally. I think for a while I did actually end up getting, with the old Game Boy, I did actually end up getting like a, what's it called? Like a, like some rechargeable batteries that I had borrowed from someone. But we didn't have like a battery recharger, so I'd have to like loan out the battery recharger from my mate to be able to like recharge the batteries, and that didn't last very long. So I think their parents got pissed off that I was, you know, that their kid was taking their battery recharger. No! So I finally ended up getting my Game Boy. I was so happy. Got my SP. And we never talked about the battery incident again. Until today. So my mum was a hard case. She never dobbed me into the other parents. But I got sorted out later on when, because I'm pretty sure battery packs were like a pack of small batteries. Like you get them from like Kmart or something now, or like your local just department store, probably for cheap as for like some budget ones. But like these were like the Energizer Bunny, you know, like grade A. They only last a few hours in a Game Boy because it drained power like nothing. But I'm pretty sure that she told me they were like 20 bucks for a pack of 4. And I must have used at least $200 worth of like batteries just playing that Game Boy. You know what? No regrets. It was so much fun. And it got me hooked on Pokemon, and yep, I'm keen as to bring some of that when it comes out this year. So that's my final story, and my remembering Mum for her birthday and gaming related style. You know, if you've watched all 3, then you know, thank you for listening, really. And yeah, I think it's really special that I have the ability to actually share something like that with people. And you know, even if no one watches it, it was really fun, like reminiscing and thinking about those stories again. And you know, sometimes I think when people are gone, you kind of feel like you took for granted a lot of the time that you had with them. But you know, thinking back on these stories, it just reminded me of like all of the great times that we had. And you know, there were times where I thought that like Mum never really understood my love for games, but you know, when I think back on them, she started it. You know, she started it all. She got me that PlayStation. She bought me those games. You know, every time a new Crash Bandicoot came out, she got it. It was like 2, 3, Crash Team Racing, like all of it. You know, I remember I had been introduced to Final Fantasy. I got bought 8 first, and then I got 6, and then we in the store there was Final Fantasy 7 and Legend of Dragoon, and I'd played the demo for Legend of Dragoon, and I was so keen on it. And she's like, you can get 1. They were like 120 bucks or something like that. Like they were friggin' expensive, because I think, you know, because they came in so many discs, I think. But she's like, you can get 1 of them. And so I debated for like 20 minutes which one I was gonna get, and ultimately, I went with Final Fantasy 7 because I was like, oh, you know, like what if it, you know, I'm sure I'll be able to get Legend of Dragoon again at some point. And you know what? It was never in the shops again after that. I was so sad. I've never actually owned the game, and I've watched it play through on YouTube multiple times, and she's like, are you sure you want that one? Are you sure? It's like, yeah, of course I want that one. Just another quick little story, actually, now that I think about it. She bought me, I don't know if any of you guys ever played Croc on the PlayStation 1, but she bought me Croc, and I think it was like $50, like half price, and the guy had accidentally put Croc 2, which had just come out, the disc, into Croc 1. And so I think that was like... It was like $100 game. And so I was like, oh, this is Croc 2. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Do you want me to take it back and trade it out? And I was like, oh, I don't know. So she rings the place and she's like, how much is Croc 2? And the guy's like, 100 and something bucks. And she's like, okay, thank you. Puts it down. And she's like, okay, James, I'll buy Croc 1 for you later. Because we just got Croc 2 for $50. And so I was like, yeah. And I played it, and Croc 2 was awesome. And you know what? It was a lot harder going back to the first one after you played the second one, because the second one was just way better. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. And, you know, if you've got any, you know, gaming related stories of your own parents that you want to share, then just drop them in the comments. And other than that, you guys have a lovely day. Take care of yourselves, and if you can, give your mum a hug for me. Take it easy. Thank you for watching. Subscribe.